Nutrition for athletes. Guys, if you are an athlete yourself, if you cook for one, or if you're a coach and you work with athletes, this information is for you. My name is Alicia Jones, certified health coach from Southern California, specializing in preventative nutrition with macros. And I am joined by Mike Franchimone here.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Fitness and coaching professional of over 30 years. So Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself and just what inspired you to want to chat nutrition today.
Well, yeah, I mean, you and I had a conversation about a month ago, and you know, it inspired me just to be able to come alongside you and hopefully just give you some insight on the athletic side of nutrition. And yeah, if we come together and help some people out, I'm down to do it. So yeah.
What are some of those things that you see that go, you know what, I think they could learn about?
Yeah, well, you know, just because you're an athlete, you know, at the collegiate level is where I'm at now. It doesn't mean you're completely taking care of yourself to where you're going to play to your best ability. A lot of guys just strive on just talent, and they don't really understand the body, and they're in their early 20s, late teens. So what I like to do is I like to come alongside them and just give them a little insight on how to manage themselves, prep themselves for a game, what actually goes on the day before a game to allow you to be successful at game time.
Because I know you and I were talking about like how to, what these college level athletes need, and even down to the younger kids.
No, of course.
High school, you know, even elementary. Like I would say that sometimes they just don't know, and it's like
no, they're definitely not educated in those areas. You know, I mean, I'm on campus with high school athletes all day long, and I'm watching them. You know, I know they got a game at 4 o'clock that day, and I'm watching them eat lunch, and I'm going like, you guys are eating Doritos and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which is not actually horrible, but you know, they don't mix it well with other items, you know? So, yeah. And I'm always on them. I'm like, hey, it's game day. You know, how are we prepping ourselves? You know, right. And they're like, oh, you know, I'm good. You know, I can eat whatever I want. You know, I'm young, you know, and there's some truth to that, obviously, but you know, you perform how you feel, you know, and you know, me, I'm not going to go eat a cheeseburger and fries before I go, you know, onto the baseball field. So yeah, because I'm going to feel, you know, not too well. So yeah, yeah. That's on the lighter note. Yeah.
Right. No, I love that. You said perform how you feel.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you are what you eat at times. You know, a lot of times your fuel that goes into your body is you're either going to optimally perform to the best of your ability, or you're going to, you know, kind of feel like you want to lay down on the couch. You know what I mean? It's the truth.
Yes. And yeah. You know what's so interesting about that too is it's not only coming into game day, as you said, and I also think it's after game. It's how do you recover?
Absolutely.
Pre, post, right?
Yeah. You know, lactic acid builds up, you know, toxins build up in your body, flushing those out of your body, lots of water intake. I'm huge on water. Obviously, you just saw me have my morning coffee. Yeah. That's it. That's my only go for the morning, and then the rest of the day is water. You know, yeah. That's my choice, but gotta go.
Yeah, no, let's chat about drinks a little bit. And I thought it'd be cool if we could kind of break down some macronutrients in just a real simple way. So
yeah, for sure.
Athletes, coaches, people who cook for athletes can start doing this stuff. Is that cool?
I'm down.
Cool. Let's talk about drinks. So you said water. How much water do you recommend for your athletes, or what else do you recommend for them?
Well, I mean, everybody's body is different, but you know, I mean, I'll speak for myself. I try to go between a gallon or gallon and a half a day, and I'm usually probably around more like 2 gallons a day, maybe a little in excess, but I feel like water's a gift, and I'm going to ingest as much of it as I can, and it flushes me out and keeps me, you know, feeling hydrated. You know, hydration's key to everything, and people don't realize how the body breaks down in dehydration. So yeah.
You know what? Totally to your point. Let me give a rule of thumb for those of you guys who are watching. And we know that this video is going to be on YouTube. It's going to be passed around to athletic teams. So we just want to give some kind of rules of thumb here that you can take away today. So first and foremost, when it comes to water, half your body weight in ounces of water.
Right.
Is recommended, or more, but let's start with that.
Yeah. Yeah, if I weigh 200 pounds, 100 ounces of water is a good baseline. You know, I probably have 100 ounces before 10 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, right. You know, I mean, that's me though. I enjoy that. I enjoy the water. So yeah.
And let's think about some of those, you know, young men and women, or even college level men and women who don't have very much water yet. for those of you that start, I would say just start little by little and ramp it up.
Oh yeah, you don't want to just start, you know, I love watching the people at the gym walking around with their gallon jug of water. The funny part is most of the time it's full. I don't usually see the water level too low on that, and so I laugh. I make little jokes at the gym, and I'll be like, "Hey, you guys training your arms, walking around with your 128 ounces." You know, it's kind of funny. So yeah, but yeah, I just it's a mindset. It's a choice. You know, you're either gonna do it or not. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I just don't want to be in the bathroom all day." There's truth to that at the beginning, and then you get the your bladder will expand, and you won't have to go to the bathroom 20 times a day. So
and totally to your point, I love what you said, mindset, because on one side of the coin, it's sure you're going to go pee a lot, but and on the other side of the coin, how is that going to affect your performance, your mental clarity, your focus?
Of course, mental clarity is key. Yeah.
Literally agile and have endurance throughout an athletic.
Sure.
Or even during the day, like school day.
Right, for sure. Right. Yeah, clarity's key.
100% mental clarity. One of the things I've tested out with my boys, now they're a little bit younger maybe than some of the athletes that are going to be watching this video. My boys are in elementary school, and what I found with them is that they can go through 20 ounces of water if I flavor it. So I don't want to share a quick little rule, a little thing you could test out is electrolytes are awesome for recovery, keeping your salt and water balanced in your cells. The reason anybody might care about electrolytes in cells is because that water you're talking about, Mike, the water goes in and out of every cell wall in your body. So it's kind of important, right? If we want to have endurance, not only for school day, but and an athletic event and a recovery and. So I have discovered if I put a little bit of like a Propel, for example, it's a no sugar athletic drink. I'm not talking about a high sugar Gatorade. Right. Everything like that, careful on the grams of sugar. I just find that's a cool thing to test for water is throw some flavoring in there, and they'll go through 20 ounces probably before lunch. So. Yeah.
I mean, we have it in our dugouts. We have we have the 3 big, huge Gatorade jugs, and 2 of them are water, and 1 of them is actual Gatorade. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a balance to that, of course.
Well, and Gatorade's awesome because a lot of that, those electrolytes go in the body very quickly. It's just a lot of people also don't realize that, oh gosh, there's 20, 30 grams of sugar going in the body as well. And that's going to be counterproductive. So that I've tested too is that you can even half Gatorade and half water. That's better.
Yeah, there you go.
Than nothing.
Yeah, when you're in the midst of performance, I mean, you're not really worried about your sugars or anything like that. You're just worried about getting it in and being at the best of your level. So I'm sure there's a balance to that. I don't really pay too much attention to the ratio that the athletes drink of that. But yeah.
Yeah, and what's cool is I love what you were saying too about, like you had said, some of the kids are like, I'm young, I can eat whatever I want. And while that's true to the age that you're performing, like what you were saying, Mike, when you're in performance, the grams of sugar don't matter as much. 100%, your body needs that, go time. And it's also that it's that same grams of sugar issue after the athletes are done, in terms of their age and they're done performing at such a high level. That's what causes a whole bunch of the inflammation. And reducing that recovery time. And eventually, as people get older, it causes weight gain, and that's no fun. So just something to throw out there and be considerate of. Yeah,
I like that. That's clean. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because what you want to do is, I mean, as I'm older, in my 50s now, I learned that, obviously I always known the body's a machine, and it acts the way you feed it. You feed it well, it acts well. You feed it, poor choices, it's gonna show repercussions of that. So yeah.
Well, let's kind of chat into food, because food is like what you said. It's that fuel that goes into a machine. Do you have some food recommendations that you give to your athletes?
My guys, let's just say they're big. They're strong. They're all into calorie ingestion. That we play double headers every Saturday, so they're going to be on the field for 9 hours. And they smack the calories all day long. Most of the guys are eating peanut butter and jelly and eating bananas as the day goes along. Some protein bars that are given to them by the staff. But they're the night before is usually the meal that's going to react to how you're going to play the following day, and then you're going to kind of like hit some breakfast, and you're going to keep it going. You're going to keep your fuel going. How do they eat? They eat a lot. They eat a lot of eggs. They eat a lot of potatoes. You know, they're obviously college athletes, so the cafeteria only has certain amounts of certain kinds of foods that's available to them. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, if it was me, I'd be saying, hey, let's go to Jamba Juice or Juice It Up. Let's start with something like that, and then let's back it up with you know, some eggs and maybe some toast, or you know, whatever, something like that. But you know, lunchtime we provide them with sandwiches, usually on wheat bread, you know, some turkey, and just to keep their bodies, and bananas, of course, and apples. So yeah, I mean, you know, I've been with them. They could eat, you know, dinner. You know, if we go hang out and eat dinner, they could put it down, and they're college guys, so they're not usually worried too much. We got a couple guys that are into super clean eating, and we got most of the guys that just want to, you know, open up the mouth and shove it down their throat and just go at it, you know? Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, because they lift pretty hard. The boys lift hard, and that's tons of calories that are being depleted as they lift. So they got to keep it going. So yeah.
Yeah, which actually is interesting, because that goes back to what you said earlier about how the water flushes out what's happening, and all that lactic acid buildup from the lifting so that the recovery can happen.
Sure.
The thing I find too, I love what you said about how, like, well, they just eat this, but then I'd really recommend, you know, Jamba Juice and eggs and toast. And what's cool about what you said too is you listed off a couple macronutrients. So I'm going to just take 2 seconds and kind of
do it
for our athletes and for people who are working with athletes or cooking for them.
Right.
If that's the case, just to be aware of, macronutrients are literally like the building blocks of health. They are like Legos. We all know Legos.
Right. Right.
So we've got your protein and your carbs, right? Everybody's heard of those. And most people have heard of healthy fat. Those are the three big ones: protein, carb, healthy fat. What I find is a lot of people may have heard of those, but they're not exactly sure, like, what are they and why do I care? So, right. I want to just share quickly the why you care is actually a lot of what you said, Mike, about the recovery. Protein is a building block of every cell in the body, especially your muscle cells and your brain cells and your gut cells and all the things that help you to become an athlete that can perform longer, faster, stronger, better. And then that's in addition to academics and, you know, social stuff. So protein is super important for building up. If you want to think recovery, get yourself some protein. And the cool part too is that Mike and I can give more specific, you know, recommendations. We just want to keep it real simple today, especially when it comes to recovery and protein. Second thing is carbs. You mentioned whole wheat, Mike, which was awesome. Carbs are the energy of the body, brain and body. So we're talking things, and proteins, by the way, just quick examples if you aren't already aware, is, you know, eggs, a lot of things Mike's already said, cheese, protein shakes, protein bars, seeds, nuts, things like that you can just throw in and really fuel your body for a couple hours, you know, at a time, depending on the energy output. Carbs are your go for complex carbs, meaning whole wheat, oatmeal, stuff that takes your body longer to break down so that it can give you a couple hours of that actual energy. When you're on the field, you can't come in and grab a banana. You got to have something in your cells. Fruits and veggies also count. That's how come I think Mike said Jamba Juice, because you blend it all up and there you go. Fruits and veggies count as carbs. So if you want some energy, have bananas, like you said, apples, those are awesome. Those are some choices. And the biggest thing is, I don't know if you realize this, Mike, but when you described that, you did describe them as paired together.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I love that, because that's super important for keeping inflammation down, recovery time faster, and energy up, including your mental energy. So the last thing I will share quickly about macros is you got your protein, carbs. That healthy fat piece is not as well known, and it's really important for all the digestion that happens down here. And you eat stuff, you gotta absorb the nutrients. So healthy fat actually helps absorb nutrients, which again, let's think like practical. That's what we need on a field, that we gotta focus. The game goes long, you're hot, you're tired, you gotta focus. So the healthy fat helps a lot with the brain function as well. Things like chia seeds, flax seeds, nuts, butters, sunflower butter, peanut butter, things like that. So those are some quick, what the macros are, why you care, and how you can put them together. So how does that kind of, because you're the coach mind, when you hear all that, how does that like kind of apply then to your athletes?
Well, I mean, again, they have to buy into it. That's the hardest part is being a young man out there is, you know, they don't want to educate themselves to this level. You know, if they all bought into this level and, you know, we had a full-on nutrition plan, a cook or somebody to prep them meals and everything, I will guarantee you that their days would be a lot better physically and mentally on the field, to where they're not breaking down. And like I said, you know, especially with our sport, you know, baseball's a 0 to 10. You know, it's a reaction sport. It's you know, you're basically, I mean, you could be standing in center field for, you know, 7-8 minutes and nothing happens. Then boom, balls hit you and you got to be able to react. Now again, mental preparedness is key. You know, everything is in between the ears. You know, you're either in it or you're not. You know, you can kind of start watching clouds, trees, wind. You know, you can kind of fade away a little bit, but you know, nutrients is going to keep you focused and attentive to be able to make that play that could potentially win you the game, or lose you the game. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah. So in that being said, it's you know, if I could get those kids to understand, and I do come alongside them, and you know, it's usually in a joking manner because they're young, and I'm trying to just keep them, you know, with me on some mindsets. And you know, they always look and go, "Oh, you're so big," blah 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 blah. And I was like, "Hey, mindset. You know, hey, I'm out here, got to compete with young men. I'm old. My body's broken and tired, but I'm doing the best I can with what I got." And that's a mindset. You know, if you guys had that mindset now at your age, you're going to be doing very well later in life.
Yeah, you know what's so funny about that? Like, as you just described that, like, I'm older, my body's broken, and you know, that happens as we age. I mean, I'm 40 now this year. I guess that ages me according to this video. But yeah, so I'm definitely on the 40 and up club. And I do see a difference in energy and recovery. And I hope that this conversation is inspiring one athlete somewhere to really just consider that your body is a gift. You said the word gift earlier, Mike. I love that. 100%. Like we're up and around. We can not only have this conversation, but athletes can compete.
Yeah.
They can make what'd you say, win a championship or lose a championship.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a community, that's a school, that's a team.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think it's like what you said, that mindset of just getting a little bit beyond ourselves and just go, hey, how is this really going to impact?
Absolutely. And again, as a young, when you're young, you don't think too much about the future. You think about today. You know, when you're older, you know, it's for me, I'm going like, okay, I'm in my 50s now, and I want to be able to be around if my son, you know, gets married, has a child. I want to be that grandfather that's not stuck on the chair. I want to be able to move around and be agile, you know, and that's just where I'm at. For me, I'll speak for myself. That's very important.
100%. And I love that. I love that heart. Do you ever, I'm just curious, as you were sharing that, like that's your inspiration at this season of your life.
Yeah, for sure.
Wonder if, and I don't know if you had this conversation with your athletes, or if this is just something that as our viewers are watching this video, you can think about, but like what's your inspiration? Like what gets you out of bed in the morning?
Oh, well, I mean, for me, it's a ministry. I everything I do, if I could pour into these young guys and to, you know, come alongside them and prep them for life a little bit, you know, obviously they're not thinking too much about their future, but they are in a sense. There's, you know, when you're in high school, you're worried about college. When you're in college, you're worried about getting married and being able to supply for your home and be a good father and a good husband and all the above, you know. So if I can come alongside them and give them that nudge, the rub, I call it the rub a little bit. It's kind of that little digging in a little bit. It's not necessarily the most comfortable thing, but if they know it's done with love and they receive it well, yeah, that's what I want to do. And it's, like I said, it's a ministry for me, and God's used it to glorify Him, and that's what I want to do.
100%. And I love that. And I hope that, you know, as athletes are listening to this, as coaches or families, even moms, you know, who are listening to this for their athletes who are at home still. I hope you heard that heart, because I did. And I know, Mike, this is one of the reasons that we even connected over this, is I have a heart to also serve families and moms and teach, because it does. And so I wonder if that's just something even that we could do, or viewers listening to this video, just ask yourself, you know, what's your inspiration, the so what factor? And I wonder if even these young college athletes who, like you said, they're young, they can eat whatever they want, Well,
Right.
sure you can, but what's the impact even tomorrow?
Yeah, long term. Yeah.
Let's even forget the 50 years from now, but like, what's tomorrow? How am I going to feel tomorrow, or even next week? Or,
right. Right. Yeah. And that, you know, that all, you know, obviously we talk everything about recovery and physical, you know, but, you know, we can go on to it for a whole tangent of injury, you know, injury prevention, you know, that's a whole topic. Maybe sometime we'll revisit that. But yeah, I mean, again, you know, we especially in baseball, you know, we play 50 to 60 games. You know, we're preparing ourselves for today, but we're trying to get through a season being healthy. And there's a huge it comes into play with how you prepare your body today for tomorrow or 2 months down the road.
I love that you said that. Truly, like, that's kind of what I was thinking, but you said it like perfectly. Just like today for the whole season.
Yeah.
It's a couple months, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, 4 months, 5 months. Well, I mean, for us in baseball, we started in September. I mean, and now we're going into April, and we still got another month and a half left. So it's a 9-month process for us, 8 to 9 month process. And we hit the gym really hard the first 4 months of the year, and then we kind of taper back, build our bodies up, and then we kind of, you know, prep ourselves for the season to be consistent, and we go on what we call maintenance. You know what I mean? We're still lifting, but we're not lifting to the high levels, but we're kind of like maintaining to where we can go for the long haul through the season.
Well, I think that's so key for especially the college level athletes, like you said, and then kind of thinking like reverse engineering it, backing it down, like the high school level athletes, even the elementary level athletes, to have that mindset of this isn't just today, it's for 2 months, 4 months, or you know, and it's how you show up, like what you said. You can't just lift the whole level anymore. It's got to have a maintenance. Like this kind of stuff. One of the reasons I call it preventative nutrition is that macros can give you that, can help your body just be in a maintenance. Or if you need to adjust it for some higher level, absolutely. And that's one of the things like I can help with. I know, Mike, you've got more background in this as well. I would say for any of the viewers, athletes that are watching this video, if you want some specific recommendations, just reach out to one of us, whoever you know. And we're happy to give you some resources. I know this is YouTube. I'll go ahead and link a couple things below here that would be helpful, but also just reach out. Like, you know, if you're an athlete working with Mike, if you're a family working with you, just let us know. We're happy to help. Yeah,
that's the hardest part is understanding yourself that you don't have all the answers. And you know what? None of us do. I mean, we're all just coming alongside each other to try to better ourselves. And that's 100%. What we try to do. Yeah. It's a team.
Yeah, that's right. It's a team. I love that. Well, Mike, thanks for being here, Mike. Do you have any like closing comments, just encouragement for athletes and coaches, families that might be watching?
You know what? All I can say is, you know, every day we prep ourselves mentally and physically. And you know what? The mind's powerful. The body's powerful. And if you can get them to work together, you can become a heck of an athlete, and you go out there and perform to the best of your ability. And, you know, that's all I can say is just, you know, just go there with the right mental mindset, and, you know what, you will succeed and you'll do well.
Absolutely. And I will add to everything you said is the habits, the power of habit.
Create habits.
Little, tiny, small changes over time. Make the biggest impact over time so that you can make that impact you want to make.
Oh, there's no doubt. Absolutely.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, let's sign off for today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.